Sorry ass DJ.
Welcome to our Applied Economics subject. Today, we are going to discuss about economics as a social science and applied science in terms of nature and scope. For that, at the end of the session, you should be able to explain the nature and scope of economics, determine its fields, the micro and macroeconomics, resourcefully use the different resources in the production of goods and services, and in real world, efficiently consume these finished products. Start with, let's have a quick activity, arrange minute. As you can see on the screen, there are scrambled words. Kindly arrange the following words. These are the terms you commonly encounter when you make decisions of going to the market. Examples of these items are given on the right column. So number 1, individuals and industries. Can you guess what word it is? Yes, very good. It's microeconomic. Number 2, basic goods and commodities. Yes, it is tangible goods. Number 3, shortage in supply. Very good. Yes, it is scarcity. Number 4, expensive jewels and gems. Of course, it is a luxury goods. Last but not the least, baking machines. What are those? Yes, they are capital goods. According to Molena J.A. and Nadal G.J., economics is a social science concerned with the explanation and predictions of observed phenomena in the society. Economics studies the way in the societies solve the fundamental problems of reconciling the unlimited desires of individuals with scarcity of resources. So take note ha, unlimited desires of individual, no? And susceptible to numerous alternative uses. So, meaning, because people have unlimited desires and the resources are scarce, so it is economics that will find ways to look for alternative on that particular product or services. So, muna siyang social science because there is an interaction. Did you get it? Economics is also an applied science because it uses the scientific method in its explanation, which consists of observing reality and presenting questions and problems to arrive at a formulations of theories and models. As an applied science, it follows a systematic procedure to solve issues and problems of the society. Diba? Just like when you have that experimentation way back in your high school or bisan karon, diba? Mag-experiment ka, diba? Naatay mga procedures saon ni paghimo, no? Now, we have our hypothesis and we also have this we have to know the problems, no? Aron maka-arrive ka of formulations of theories, no? Unsaon nimo pag-solve na siya nga problems. Next is the fields of economics. There are two, the microeconomics and the macroeconomics. Microeconomics focuses on the behavior of individual economic units and the functioning of markets. Its perspective focuses on the parts of the economy, individuals, firms, and industries. So from the word micro, meaning small, no? So the microeconomics studies the markets of goods and services And it also focuses on the behavior of the individual in the market. So, unsay behavior ani nga product or services diya sa market. High ba yung demand or high ba yung supply? Low ba yung demand or low ba yung supply? Microeconomics, inani lang gudi siya class, no? For example, sa whole Philippines. So, sa whole Philippines, you will only study the market of this particular place. For example, Cebu. So, ang movement ra sa market ani nga place, Cebu. So, dili ang entire Philippines. So, man siya micro. So, examples of microeconomics are individual markets. So, individual markets of this particular goods or services. Then, the effect on price of the goods. Kung sa epekto sa presyo ani nga particular good or product. And individual labor market, individual consumer behavior, unsay behavior aning consumer, particularly ani nga produkto or ani nga services, and then the supply of goods. And now, let's have macroeconomics from the word macro, meaning big, no? Dako siya. So, micro, gamay. So, for example, ato kung ingon nga Cebu, micro. So, kung macro siya, so the entire Philippines, no? The entire Philippines. So, kung ang Philippines mo yato ang micro, ang macro, ang entire world. So, macroeconomics studies the functioning of economics as an aggregate, no? Production and employment, particularly production and employment, no? Production of goods and services, and of course, employment, kay kinahanglan man ni siya para pag-produce ani mga goods and services. Its perspective looks at the economy as a whole, focusing on goals like production, the standard of living, unemployment, and inflation. So, mo ni siya ang focus sa macroeconomics, no? Ang atong production, ang atong standard of living, kaning unemployment, and the inflation. So, macroeconomics has two types of policies for pursuing these goals. These are the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. So, macroeconomics. Here are some important keywords that you should remember when it comes to macroeconomics. So, from the word macro, so whole economy, so the study of the whole economy. And inflation, so the general price level. So, inflation, what do you mean by inflation? So, ano ni siya class, ha? Today, year 2022, you have 1,000 pesos. So, after 10 years ka ha, the same baka ang imong mapalit sa imong 1,000 pesos karon inig 2032. The same baka ha ang gidaghanon sa imong mapalit. So, of course, dili gyud no kay magsaka man ang price sa mga goods and services. So, mo na siya ang inflation. So, ang purchase nimo karon, purchasing power sa imong kwarta karong panahona, compare nimo sa purchasing power sa imong kwarta inig year after 10 years, no, 2032. So, next is the employment or the unemployment. So, muna siya, nag-study sa ang macroeconomics employment of unemployment sa ato ang nasod. And then, the aggregate demand, no? So, ang demand ani, aggregate demand ani mga products and services. And then, the productive capacity of economy sa atong economy. So, unsa ang capacity sa ato ang economy nga mo-produce ani nga particular goods and services. Let's proceed. We will have the economic agents and stakeholders. So who are they? No? Isa man ni sila. Of course, they are the actors and actresses of economics. Number one, the consumers. Of course, kinsa man ni sila? Who are they? Who are these people? Of course, kita tanan, everybody, no? Because we consume goods and services, no? Consume goods and services, and then offer production factors, maximize utility. So kita, no? We consume these goods and these services, and then we also offer production factors, no? Because kita man mahimong mga empleyado, no? Mahimong empleyado sa mga producers para mag-produce ani mga produkto o mga taga-serbisyo. Then, producers, of course, no? Kaya kung wala yung producers, saan man natin pag-consume kung wala sila. So, producers, these are the companies na nag-provide o nag-provide aning mga kapital or kaning mga kinahanglan para mahimo ni nga produkto, no? Then, mga hospitals, no? Mo nag-provide o nag-hire aning mga doctors, nurses para mo-provide nato og serbisyo, no? And then also, of course, DepEd, no? Nag-hire sa mga teachers para mo-provide ninyo ang services, no? So that you will learn. And also, the public sectors, no? Muna siya na nabilong diha ang DepEd, no? Muna siya ang atong mga kapulisan. Then, attempt to maximize the well-being of society. Muna siya ang public sectors attempts to maximize the well-being of society. So, help the classification of goods, tangible goods and intangible goods. So, what is tangible goods? Tangible goods are material goods or commodities. So, mo ni siya katong imong mapalit sa tindahan, kanang mga pagkaon, no? Kanang imong mahikap, kabulitan, no? Just like kaning cellphone, for example. Cellphone is considered, for example, of tangible goods. Means scissors, ball pens, no? So, muna siya ang kanang mga canned goods. Kanang yung refrigerator, kanang TV, muna siya ang mga tangible goods. While intangible goods, on the other hand, they are when they are in the form of services, no? Those rendered by doctors, engineers, and other professionals, or teachers also. Those are intangible goods. Here showing you examples of tangible goods, no? As you can see sa picture sa screen, no? Akong examples diha goods na imong makita sa mga grocery stores. Apil pa ang car, house, buildings, may money. So, muna siya ang example sa tangible goods. So, the next picture on the screen is the intangible goods. So, not only the services rendered by professionals are considered intangibles, but also any mga brands, no? Brands na binagiging brands sa, for example, brands sa gatas, brands sa toothpaste, brands sa mga sinina, mga Louis Vuitton, mga Chanel, mga Nike, Adidas, ano siya. And the knowledge, of course, kanang knowledge din mo, no? Tangible goods na siya. Okay. Siyempre, ikaw maayo kay ka-invento ka ani nga produkto. So, saan siya considered as intangible goods, and also the trademarks. So, what are trademarks? So, kanang mga logo sa mga kumpanya o logo sa mga produkto, no? Muna siya yung trademarks and patents. Sabi siya patents. So, para na siya nag-invented something. So, muna kinahanglan din yung patent para mag-claim yun mo nga, imuha yun na ikaw yun ana ang naka-invento. So, that's it. There's also another way of classifying goods. Goods may also be classified according to use, no? Consumers goods, essential goods, economic goods, capital or industrial goods, and last but not the least, the luxury goods. So, let's take up first consumer goods. So, what are consumer goods? Consumer goods, no? Goods for the ultimate consumption of the consumers. No? Example, kaning mga toothpaste, bath soap, shampoos, sa panaginha, ng atong mga gikinahanglan yun, gikinahanglan sa nato. No? And then also next is the essential goods. So what are essential goods? No? These are goods used to satisfy the basic needs of man. So kaning essential goods na to yun siyang ikinahanglan sa ato ang survival. So the basic needs, no? Which is the food, no? Kaning itong mga pagkaon, no? Kaning mga canned goods, meat, poultry, fish, rice, medicines, no? Water, ano siya, no? clothing. So, muna siya ang mga essential goods. Next are the economic goods. Economic goods, goods which are useful and scarce with value attached to them and a price has to be paid for their use. If a good so abundant, it can satisfy everyone's needs without anybody paying for it. Then, that good is free. The air is free, but the air from an aircon is an economic good. So, for example, kanang air, no? Free ra na siya kay pwede ra gyud ta mo hanggap sa hangin nga libre. Pero kanang air nga gi-provide kamong nag-provide sa aircon, ano siya example sa economic good. Then, nahanglan ka mo bayad para maka-experience anak na klase ng goods. So, next is the capital goods. So, what is this? What are these goods? Capital goods or industrial goods. So, kaning mga capital or industrial goods, these are the goods used in the productions of other goods and services, no? Example, kanang mga buildings, kanang mga machineries, kanang equipment. So, capital goods muna siya ang kinahanglan para mag-produce aning mga toothpaste, mga sapon, shampoo, kanang mga hand goods. So, muna siya. So, kinahanglan sila o kinahanglan sila buildings, no? Kinahanglan sila o mga machineries. And also, kinahanglan sila o mga equipment. No? Muna siya ang mga capital or industrial goods. Then, next is the luxury goods. Yung mga luxury goods, muna siya ang atong mga, na-consist siya sa atong mga wants. No? Luxury. So, of course, na mga mahalin ng mga watches, of course, na TV, refrigerator, na mga butang nga we can live without. No? Muna siya, luxury goods. Kaya mga cars, nato din na, no? Things that man can live without, no? But give comfort, no? For example, na perfume, cakes, chocolates, expensive cars and jewelries, expensive clothing, muna siya ang tawag ng luxury goods. So, basically, ang luxury goods, muna siya ang itong mga wants. So, did you understand? Did you get it? Okay, so let's proceed to the next topic. So, did you understand the classification of goods? Then, let's proceed to the economic resources. So, economic resources, it is defined as the factors of production for goods and services. The factors of production are inputs, combinations, in the productions of goods and services to make an economic profits for the firms. So, kanyo dayang economic resources, these are the factors of production. Aron, makahimo sila o mga goods and services para economic profits sa mga kumpanya. So, what are these factors of production? So, these factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So, what are these? Sama ni sila. So, land, no? Yuta. So, manong ikinhanglan nila ang land? Of course, no? Kanang, for example, sa rice, so you need land para magtanong sa mga palay. Then, of course, sa corn, o sa tanan, ikinhanglan ang land para magtanong or magbuhat sa mga raw materials, no? So, kinahanglan sa ang land para pag-put up sa mga buildings, no? Pag-put up sa mga kanang firms, no? Mga planta. The next is the labor. So, sama ng labor, of course, ang manpower, no? Kinahanglan sa nato ang labor para maghimo, mag-produce ani nga produkto. So, kung wala ning labor, saan man pag-produce sa produkto, dili man na siya bisan pa siguro na ay machine, di kinahanglan man ang mo-operate ana. Then of course, capital. So sa man capital, of course, na nabilong na diha ang cash, no? Ang money na i-put up para ipalit na ng mga machineries, pagtukod sa buildings, no? Sa mga equipment. And of course, the entrepreneurship. So, muna siya, ang entrepreneur o ang entrepreneurship. So, kinahanglan asa kay knowledge, ang entrepreneur nasa siya knowledge, aning entrepreneurship, aron saon niya pa, madagan o pagpalambo ang iyahang negosyo, no? So, ang entrepreneur muna siya ang finance, no, na ay kapital para maput ang ani nga negosyo or business. Next is the characteristics of resources. Number 1, scarcity, insufficient resources to supply all the desires and needs of individuals. So resources, no, scarcity. What do you mean by scarcity? Meaning, these resources are not enough or insufficient, no, to supply all the desires and needs of individual. So next is multiple use. So resources can have more than one possible use. So kaniyang possible nga resources, dili ra isa ang diyahang gamit ani kun dili multiple. So muna siya ang characteristic has scarce, so meaning sufficient, so dili siya enough supply. So and pasa siya o multiple use, so dili ra isa, dili specific ang diyahang gamit, dili daghan. So muna siya. So mo to ang characteristic has scarcity, then multiple use, and last but not the least, partially replaceable. So one resource can replace another in the production of a good or service. So example, replace manual labor with technology. So partially replaceable. So pwede siya ma-replacean. So like ani manual nga labor, so pwede siya ma-replace of technology, pwede siya ma-replace of machine. So ani nga trabaho ron. So for example, kanang tahigon sa kamot. So instead na tahigon siya kamot, pwede siya ma-replace of technology nga gamitan ng machine kay mas dali mas dali ang pag-produce ani niya gamit ani nga machine. So partially replaceable kay gamit naman gihapon siya og tao para pag-operate ani nga machine. So ano siya ang meaning sa partially replaceable. That's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Hope that you learned something from our discussion today. And this is Genevieve Regalado, your applied economics teacher, signing off. God bless.
Sorry, it's DJ.